Hello there, everybody. I am back with a new installment of the Moon Sign series. I apologize for being gone for a while, had a lot of changes, quit my day job, and went to France for 2 weeks, and now I'm back. So here is a new installment of the Moon Sign series. Without further ado, just to brush up on what your moon sign is, it is personally I feel most important part of your chart, one of the most important part of your chart. It represents your emotional tendencies, who you are deep down, beneath all the bullshit, kind of like the core of you. So it's really important to know your moon sign and to really understand your moon sign, because that's understanding yourself. So let me get right to it. Today we are talking about Cancer moon, people. Moon in Cancer. This is a big one. It is a moon sign of a lot of people that I know, that I'm close with, and it is a water moon, and so it's very emotional. And actually, the moon is the natural ruler of Cancer, so in a way, this placement is like very natural. It's the moon is at home when it's in Cancer. So let's get into it. To have a Cancer moon, you're extremely emotional, extremely sensitive, but you're also quite guarded. You don't like for your emotions to be on display, unless other parts of your chart change that, but that's another topic. Typically you kind of keep your stuff hidden. First of all, you're very intuitive. Your intuition is like one of the most out of any of the moon signs. You just feel things from an instinctive place, but as far as sharing your emotions, you're not always so keen on that. Sometimes people with moon in Cancer, like, you don't necessarily know how emotionally they are, or you don't know, like, maybe you even find out their moon's in Cancer and you're like, oh, like, so they're really deep and sensitive, because they just, they have that crab shell, and where there's the shell, that protective cover, but it's internalized, so it's almost like even more of a shell. It's kind of like Cancer moon people are like those people you would have to like cut open and dig and then find the shell and then cut that open and then get to this really, really soft part on the inside. But this softness comes out in different ways. People with the moon in Cancer are very compassionate. They very much care about the people they love, about humanity. Like, they care about what's going on in the world. Like the idea of like children going hungry is like so terrible to them. Like, sometimes they can't even deal with it. Like, they're very sensitive, but not just on a personal level. Like, they really feel for people. But on a personal level, as much as they can empathize and they're compassionate, they're also self-protective. Like, they can have sympathy for someone, but if they feel like someone is maybe gonna hurt them, they will protect themselves. They're kind of this is kind of where some of the dark side can come in, is they can almost be like too self-protective, to where they end up cutting someone off or cutting themselves off from something if they feel like it's gonna hurt them. Even before anything happens, if they have that intuition, like, oh, this person might hurt me, they might kind of back down and cut off and sort of, Cancer moon people can kind of act tough, and they can kind of act like they're this cruel, hardened person, but like they're not. They're some of the like softest, squishiest people in the world. Now, when you do become close to a Cancer moon, when you do get into that little core, that soft core, like, you're theirs for life, because they really cherish the people they love. They really are protective of them, and good luck getting away from Cancer moon. You think it's hard getting away from a Cancer? Good luck getting away from a Cancer moon, because like, once they love you, like, that's it. Like, they're gonna probably love you forever. They have a hard time letting people go, letting things go. They're very connected with their past. And the other thing I have to mention about Cancer Moon is the connection to their mother. Usually it is even more strong than Cancer Sun people sometimes. But their mommy issues are much more deep-seated, so it can be more intense. So it really is important what kind of relationship a Cancer Moon person has with their mother. Usually they're just very like, they just love their moms, even if they weren't a great mom. Like, they just feel protective over their mothers. They feel nurturing towards their mothers. And if they have a great mom, then they, are probably a really strong person. If they have a shitty mom, a lot of their dark sides can come out. So it's very important to look at the connection with their mother as a Cancer Moon. Okay, so I'm gonna get into the signs, the Zodiac, through the signs of Cancer Moon. So people who are Aries with a Cancer Moon, these people are they're kind of conflicted because they're like this tough, badass Aries, but this really, really sweet Cancer on the inside. So they can be some of the sweetest people in the world. Like, the generous side of Aries really comes out when they have a moon in Cancer. But they can also be a little more like, they're like the baby Aries. They're like the Aries that are like, I'm baby, like they really kind of need to be coddled a little bit. And they can be like uber sensitive in like, but express it in kind of a fiery way. So like, they can be those type of people that are just like, you hurt me, so I'm gonna kill you, Taurus with Cancer Moon people are really great people. Like, they are, that desire to help people and to like help humanity can be channeled in this very Taurus way. Like they come off really like tough, but they're like actually fighting for a good cause. But they can also be really self-protective. They can be definitely homebodies, like people who don't like getting out of their comfort zone. And it's not just like a stubborn Taurus thing, it's like also this like nostalgic, like, but I'm comfy and I don't want to change kind of thing. Gemini with Cancer Moon people are like they're like the sensitive Geminis. Like, they're like super smart and super like witty Gemini, but they're also like nurturing, and like they're gonna be like talking your ear off, but also like trying to like, feed you and like nurse you. So they can be really great because they have kind of the best of both worlds of like being really fun and outgoing, and also being like, at the end of the day, like that person that you can rely on. Double Cancer people are just like ultimate moon babies, watery crabs, super moody, super intuitive, super loving and sweet. And they've got like 5 to 6 layers of crab shell. So like, you got to break through a lot of their shells to get to them. Leo with Cancer Moon people are like, they're like the emo Leos, like they're like the kind of Leo that's like, no, like I'm a sad Leo. And they are very loving, warm, generous, much more like kind of understanding about other people's feelings. But if it goes into into a negative way, they can kind of be too wrapped up in everything, and they can be sort of vindictive because they're like that warrior Leo, but they're like hurt easily as a Cancer Moon, so they can come off pretty like vindictive sometimes. Virgo with Cancer Moon people are some of the most selfless people in the world. Like, they genuinely want to love you and want to help you. They really want to help you. They can also be super resentful, super like in themselves. Like, if you hurt them or if you mess with them, like they can just like write you off. Even if they're going to continue to nurture you and kind of mother you, smother you, they also have this like distance of like, I'm watching you. Very intuitive, very observant on an emotional level. And more sensitive than other Virgos, I think. Libra with Cancer moon people are pretty beautiful people. They're like very mild-mannered and just sweet, and they're definitely deeper than other Libras. Like they really have real feelings. I know I joke a lot about Libras like not having feelings. Don't be mad, that's just my ongoing joke. But Libra with Cancer moon people are much more sensitive, much more emotional, feeling type people, and they love to be in relationships, and they need to be loved. They really need to be loved, and they need to give love, more importantly. Scorpio with Cancer moon people are super self-protective. They're a little more soft than other Scorpios, like not as like hardcore, you know, like self-centered. Like they're definitely a little more like giving and nurturing. But like a good example is like Kris Jenner, like always doing everything for everyone else, but has that power and that strength of a Scorpio. So they can be really dynamic people. Another example is Drake, and like they have that double water, that Cancer sensitivity of like, you know, they're gonna like I only love my bed and my mom, I'm sorry, you know, like that's like, there you go. Like okay, so even though I don't know, maybe he didn't write that lyric, but I think it's pretty true. Okay, Sag with Cancer moon people are wonderful, wonderful people. They're like very free-spirited Sages, but they have this like down-to-earth sweetness about them where like, you know, they're gonna be like traveling all around the world and doing their thing, but they're always gonna like come home and have a home, and they want to like have a family and like nurture people. Like they're a little bit more grounded Sages, not in like an earthy way, and just like a like they kind of want more sort of normal or simplistic things than other Sages. And they're like that person that is like wasted with you at a party, but they're still like brushing your hair while you're throwing up, you know? Capricorn with Cancer moon people can be super conflicted. This can be a combination very prone to depression, very prone to anxiety, and sort of this back and forth because it's polarities. So like on one hand they're like daddy Capricorn, and on the other hand they're like mommy Cancer. So they're like these two parents within themselves that are always going back and forth between being like this, like I'm gonna like, you know, put food on the table and be like a strong independent person, and then this like part of them that's like, but I just like want to love and I want to nurture and I want to just like rub your back, but like don't mess with me because I'm also a badass. Like, you know, they're kind of conflicted in that way. Aquarius with Cancer moon people are very, very sensitive. They're very whimsical. They are definitely a unique Aquarius. They're super psychic, super like great friends. Like if you're in their life and you're their friend and they care about you, like they're gonna be all about you and like, you know, still give you your space, but also I'm like, please, like, can I come over and like nurture you for a while? And they're just very in touch with themselves and in touch with other people, and like I think it's a pretty good combination. But they can be depressive. They can definitely have a dark side between being like just Cancer moody depressed and like detached Aquarius, like I don't relate with people kind of thing. Like they can sort of become isolated, kind of loners for that reason. So you gotta check on your Aquarius Cancer moon people. Check on them. I'm just saying. Pisces with Cancer moon people are super emotional, but they're like very artistic and very like they can really embrace like magic and the magical side of life, and sort of delve into these deep depths of the world and the universe, and like they're someone you want to have like a real conversation with, and they're very much lovers, but if they get their feelings hurt, it's like you don't want to deal with them because they can be super emo and super intense when they feel like being. So that's a little bit about Cancer moon, and like I said, I have a lot of them in my life. Yes, and I hope you enjoyed, and the next video should be coming soon.